Let's talk about how you can perform well, how you can speak confidently, even when you feel anxious or nervous. Now, let's be honest. All of us, or virtually all of us, have situations in which we feel a little anxious or a little nervous, or a lot anxious or a lot nervous, right? So, how can you perform well despite feeling anxious or nervous? Haven't you ever performed well even though you felt anxious? Now, I've talked to many, many people. I had a client who just a couple of weeks ago was hosting something, and she felt very anxious, and she thought that her voice was going to sound a little cracky or shaky, and she thought that were going to be able to tell that she was anxious, but in fact they couldn't. They said, "Oh, you did an excellent job, an amazing job." So what she was able to do was to perform well despite feeling anxious and or nervous. So how can you do it? Well, one of the things that very important for your ability to perform well is your ability to keep your focus on where it should be. So, where should your focus be? Your focus should be primarily on something we call VIC. VIC. So, what does VIC stand for, and how do you focus on them? The V stands for value. Whenever you're speaking, especially in a group or in a meeting or you're doing any kind of a presentation, you want to be focused on how you can contribute the most value in what you're saying, in your words, and the ideas and thoughts that you're articulating. If you keep your focus on Vic and you keep your focus on the value that you're contributing, it means you can't simultaneously be thinking about what they're thinking of you. You hope that you don't mess up. You hope that you don't sound stupid. You hope that the boss doesn't look at you a certain way. If you're just focused on how can I give as much value as possible, then more than likely you'll give greater value than get anxious and nervous, or you'll at least perform well, even though you might feel anxious or nervous. The I stands for impact. That is, what kind of an impact do you want that information to have on your audience? Do you want people getting bored and looking at their phone and yawning and stuff, or do you want them paying attention? So you want to speak using a style and also a structure. That's how you structured your comments or your presentation. You want to speak with a style and structure that engages and impacts your audience. Finally, you want to focus on clarity. You want to speak in such a way that they can hear you, right? They can understand what you're saying and they can follow. That has to do with structure as well. So, style and structure. They can hear you, they can understand you, they can follow what you're saying. So, when you focus on VIC, you focus on value, impact, and clarity, then you will not be focused on all those other distracting thoughts. Okay, so let's quickly talk about something that we call the competence confidence cycle. What this simply means is that the more competent you are at doing something, the better you get at it, usually the more confident you feel. And the more confident you feel, usually the more competent you become because you feel confident, so you're able to do it better. And when you do it better, then it cycles back around and causes you to feel confident. So we call this the competence confidence cycle. And it's very important, which is why you want to get out there and be the best that you can, but you want to get out there and practice over and over so that you become better and you feel more confident. And when you feel more confident, you become better. Okay. So we talked about VIC, VIC. What does the V stand for? Value. The I stands for what? Impact. The C stands for clarity. And we talked about the competence cycle, that when you do well, when you perform well, you feel more confident, you become more confident as well. And when you become more confident and you feel more confident, you tend to do better. So you can create and generate the cycle by getting out there and performing more and performing well, so that even under pressure, even when you feel nervous or anxious, you're able to keep your focus on Vic and perform well. See you in the next session.